Welcome back, everyone. I am the Depressed Dior, and this is Arkham Horror, the card game, doing the Dream Eaters. We're going to be starting with campaign one or scenario 1A, which is Beyond the Gates of Sleep, which will be using Mandy Thompson and Rita Young. One thing I didn't really talk about in the intro video is the fact that we're now using survivors. I think these are our first survivor characters, yeah, generally, as the name implies, they're generally designed to endure things. Their weapons tend to not be as good as survivors, but they have a lot of things that kind of help them do well, even though their stats may not be the best. It's hard to kind of describe a survivor. One thing that they tend to have is generally very good health and sanity, or as a total for the most part. So Stella Clark, for example, has 16 in total, when most characters tend to usually float around 14. Anyway, so I did set it on easy difficulty. So we are looking at -2s, and then we got a few tokens to deal with as well. One thing to note, usually, just to make it easier on my side for recording and possibly having to rewind, I usually do the setup first and then the mulligan. The rules are actually the opposite. You're actually supposed to do the draw and mulligan first. And I'm going to have to do that for this scenario in particular because there is a reason for it. So for this, we're going to go ahead and take care of mulligans right now. So we're going to go ahead and draw our 5 cards. All right, we definitely don't want any of the research cards in our hand right now. Starting with a research librarian is good. But do we want one? Yeah, actually, this is all pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take... I'm actually going to put the Dream Diary away because I'm going to be playing a Research Librarian on my first turn, so it doesn't matter. Usually, this first Research Librarian will trigger my weakness, but it's not going to in this particular scenario for a certain reason. So, there we go. Oh, it went in green right off the bat. Okay. That is interesting. Okay. So, interesting start, I'll say that much. And then for Eureka, deal to orange. All right. This is not bad either. I almost want to just keep this hand. I'm just thinking how it would work. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of okay with this starting hand. I mean, I guess I can drop the Live and Learns and Luckies and see if I get anything better. But to be honest, it might not be a problem. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to keep this. We'll see how it goes. Alright, now we get to do the intro. In player order, each investigator chooses and reads aloud one of the dream entries below that applies to that investigator. Neutral dreams may be chosen by any investigator. Each investigator must choose a different dream if able. Then proceed the setup. So, there is a dream for each of the classes. So, Guardian, Seeker, Rogue, Mystic, and Survivor. There's one for Criminals, Drifters, Hunters, Medic, Assistant, Miskatonic Scholar, Veteran, Wayfarer, and then there's 2 neutrals. And each of these will do a certain effect. In the case of Mandy, majority of these will do nothing but get rid of her weakness. So we get to look forward to that. So you are Assistant Scholar. So I can actually do either Medic here, which would allow me to either start with 2 additional resources and an additional card. What was the other one? Scholar. Which is under here. Scholar will let me start with a tome in play, but I have to pay. Well, I could search for a tome and play it, paying its cost. Seeker lets me go through and search for a Seeker card and play it and pay its cost. So I'm just going to read. I'm going to go ahead and read Miskatonic Scholar for Mandy here. You're in an old, forgotten library surrounded by the knowledge of the ancients. Hundreds of thousands of tomes line the shelves around you, ascending into an empty void above. The dim halls smell of musty pages and melting wax. Taking one of the thick tomes from a nearby shelf, you begin to read. Although you cannot seem to read any of the words, you are utterly absorbed by the tale the pages weave. Your surroundings fade into triviality as time passes. Nothing matters but the shapes of the crimson ink. All else is meaningless in the face of such stark truths. All around you, the library burns to its foundation just as the flames reach you. A door out of the library calls to you. Somehow it stands unburned among the flames. Search the deck for a tome card and put into play. Now you might be thinking that might be why I put the Dream Diary back in, but no, that's not the reason. The reason is I have to search through the entire deck, which means I do have Shocking Discovery as one of my cards in the search pool. So with that, I cancel the entire search. I have to shuffle the deck, and then I discard this, and I have to take the top card out of the encounter deck. Currently, there is no encounter deck, so I don't draw anything. There's many reasons why there's no encounter deck, but as for the order of operations here, setup, you read the scenario introduction. So you draw opening hands, then you read the scenario introduction, and then some step down, like here, the end is encounter deck. So yeah, right now there's no encounter deck, no encounter cards to draw. So we got rid of our Shocking Discovery for free. All right. As for Rita, she's Miskatonic as well, but we already read it. So I'm going to go ahead and read Survivor. You are fleeing through a dark, cramped hall of a vine-covered wood. Something inexplicable chases you through the murk. You are too terrified to turn and look upon your pursuer, but nonetheless, you know that if it catches you, it will mean the end of your life. It will pierce your heart, drain your blood, and devour your insides. It is this thought that drives you onward faster than you have ever run before. You cannot let it reach you. You cannot let it feed. Suddenly, you spot your way out. A sturdy wooden door surrounded by a wall of vines. Search your deck for a Survivor card and play it, paying its cost. So I'm going to search. I'm going to grab Pete Sylvester. I'm going to put him to play and pay the cost. So with that, we do get +1 agility, and the broad-shouldered young man exudes the sort of confidence one only finds in youth. And with that, we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle that one more time. There we go. All right, and then we progress to setup. So setup here is pretty straightforward. Let's see. Each investigator begins at the 70 steps of lighter slumber. So we start right here. All right. Also, for our lead investigator, it's going to be Mandy Thompson. Anyway, 70 steps of lighter slumber. You are no longer in your own world. A spiral of twisting stone steps hangs suspended in the aether with no visible means of support. At the bottom of the steps is an island landing, also floating in the void, where a tall golden gateway leads into a brightly lit cavern. I'm just going to verify a few things here. Okay, yeah, so it's not a cost. So yeah, I was able to do that, get rid of the weakness. All right, so a few things to note about this is right now, the start of this scenario, there is no encounter deck, which means you cannot use any abilities that interact with the encounter deck in any ways. So for example, like kicking the hornet's nest and things like that. Also, it does say in the Act 1 text to not draw encounter cards during the Mythos phase, and then that is pretty much it. All right. And then at a certain point, we will have an encounter deck, and then everything is fair game. All right, so with all that said and done, let's go ahead and take a look at our agenda. There is only one agenda, Journey Through the Gates. From your initial dream, you have been drawn into a familiar dreamscape, the same one that Virgil Gray traversed in his story and Tales from Nevermore. Is this real, or is your mind simply conjuring what it expects to see? Forced, when Doom is placed on this agenda during the Mythos phase, if any investigator is at the Steps location, place one additional Doom on this agenda, 19 to advance. So right now, all these locations are Steps. So while we don't have an encounter deck, we are producing double Doom right now. And then over here we have Entering the Dreamlands, which is a 4-act deck. The door leading out of your initial dream takes you to a stone staircase. Thousands of different stairways join together here, forming an incomprehensible nexus of steps, where worlds and stories join together. Where the stairs meet, they form a single spiraling pathway descending deeper into the land of dreams. Do not draw cards from the encounter deck during the Mythos phase. If an investigator enters the Cavern of Flame, immediately advance. And then over here we have the tokens. There are skulls, cultists, and tablets. Skulls are -X, where X is half the number of cards in your hand, rounded up. The cultist is -X, where X is the number of revealed enchanted woods locations, which there are none. And then the tablet is -2, and if you failed, and this is an attack or an evasion attempt against a swarming enemy, add 1 swarm card to it. I wonder if we're going to be fighting swarming enemies. All right, and then everything else is good to go. I'm just making sure. 4, 8, 12, 14. So there's only 14 tokens in the bag, and nothing's higher than a -2 at the moment. I guess technically the skulls are actually higher because of our hand size. Was it rounded down or rounded up? Rounded up, so right now they're -3s. All right, so with that, let me go ahead and put a break here and I'll BRB. All right, let's begin. So we're gonna go ahead and flip this location. Okay. When you leave the 70 steps, take 1 horror for each card you have in your hand in excess of 5. And as a lightning bolt, you can choose and discard a card from your hand. 1 shroud, 2 clues. And then over here we have the Cavern of Flame. You cannot enter the Cavern of Flame unless all of the clues on the 70 steps have been discovered. On this landing, there was a huge gate that spanned the width of the rocky platform. Gold, bronze, and glimmering, the gate reached skyward and appeared to go on forever, disappearing into a rolling darkness above that reminded me of the storm clouds. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Mandy first. Mandy's going to spend 2 resources to play Research Librarian, so I get to search my entire deck for a tome asset, but it also means I can trigger a research effect. So I'm going to go ahead and trigger this Occult Evidence. When it's search your deck, you can reveal it, draw it, and discover 1 clue at my location. That's 1. And then for my tome, I'm going to grab this Dream Diary. And then we go ahead and shuffle. That was our first action. Second action, I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 to play Calling in Favors. Choose an ally asset you control and return it to your hand. Then search the top 9 of your deck for an ally asset and play it, reducing its cost by X, where X is the cost of the ally asset returned to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Operator, I'm going to need you to hang up. So I'm going to go ahead and put Research Librarian back in our hand. I'm going to go ahead and use Mandy Thompson's ability and search an additional 3 cards, so 12 in total. Searching 12 cards. All right. For a research effect, we have 2 options. There's the Surprising Find and the Astounding Revelation. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Astounding Revelation and use that to gain 2 resources. And unfortunately, the Calling in Favors whiffed. It actually whiffed. I have no allies. That's surprising. It does happen. Alright, so unfortunately it did whiff, so I don't get to play anything for a cheaper cost. Alright, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and... Well, I definitely need to get things going, so I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 to play Research Librarian again. I have no more tomes in this deck, but it does let me do another research effect. So again, I'm just going to reveal this Occult Evidence. And grab a clue. And put it in my hand. And that was my last action. Alright, and then I'll shuffle the deck. Alright, something I may do is I may tap the deck to remind me that I need to shuffle, because that's something I tend to forget very often, even before playing as Mandy. So that is all the clues here. I'm going to go ahead and use a shortcut on Rita to send her this way. At the end of the Mythos phase, each investigator in the Cavern of Flame takes 1 damage. And, sorry, there's a cat in front of me. Cat, get off desk. Alright. In light slumber, he descended the 70 steps to the Cavern of Flame and talked of this design to the bearded priest Nasht and Kamantha. And the priests shook their pheasant-bearing heads and vowed it would be the death of his soul. Alright. So, if an investigator enters the Cavern of Flame, immediately advance. Alright, Priest of the Dreamlands. At the center of the cavern is a pillar of flame flanked by 2 robed bearded men. You recognize this scene from the writings of Virgil Gray. The priest, the cavern, is all just as he described. Either you have ventured into the same dreamscape, or you are sharing in his delusions. You must be tested, one the priest said, enigmatically. Your ordeal will be great, and thus so too will be your trial. Each investigator loses all their clues. Done. Put the set-aside Nashed and Come on Thaw enemies into play in the Cavern of Flames. Nashed and Come on Thaw. Alright. So both of these guys are Dreamlands Warden Elites, Priests of the Dreamlands. They have same stats, 2 Fight, 2 Evade, and 3 Health. They both have Aloof and Retaliate. Both of them also, if you defeat them through damage, you flip them over and resolve the text on the other side. And then finally, they do have a parlay test, and it is test Fist or Foot 2 to prove that you're worthy to enter the Dreamlands. This test gets +1 per investigator difficulty, so these are 4s. If you succeed, flip Nashed over and resolve the text on his other side. If you fail, Nashed attacks each investigator at his location. So, same thing for Come on Thaw, but his is willpower and intellect. Alright, and then finally we have to add a Skull token to the Chaos bag for the remainder of the campaign. So now we have our first Skull token. Okay, also I'm going to make note. So, because I'm going to have to alternate between them, so I have to constantly reset the bag over and over again. Alright, over here, the Trial of Nashed and Come on Thaw. The barred golden gates beyond will not open for you. Only the priest can judge whether you are worthy to pass through the steps below. They cross their weapons, a steel halberd and a silver scythe in front of the guards. Do not draw cards from the encounter deck during the Mythos phase, and then if neither Nashed nor Come on Thaw are in play, immediately advanced. Let's see. Alright, just looking up the definition of Nor. So yeah, I mean, this is how I've been playing it, but just to verify, you have to have both Nashed and Come on Thaw out of play. There you go. That's an easier way to say that. Anyway, that is it for Mandy. It's going to go to Rita. And Rita's got some work to do. So she has 6 foot. So I could definitely handle one of these guys pretty easily. I'm actually going to go after Come on Thaw first. Should I risk the damage? Let's see. So I can definitely do this with a Sparrow Mask. It's just I won't be able to get out of here before I take the damage. I think that's probably the better call in honesty. I mean, it's either that or I try for the check now and just hope for the best. So you know what? We'll do the parlay foot test with Nashed first and see how things go. So 6 to 4. We barely passed. Yep, thanks to Peter Silvestre giving us the backup here. Alright, so yeah, -2, that was 4, so 4. Yep, we passed. Alright, flip him over and resolve his text. Also, the only difference between the two is one of them does horror damage and the other one does physical. Alright, if you parlayed with the Trial of Nash, if you parlayed with Nash, read the following. Your quest will lead to death. The priest foretells. Prove that you can survive what is to come, and I shall let you pass. Show me your weapon. You open your hand and reveal the first weapon that comes to your mind. Nash slaps it out of your hand. That is not a weapon. Show me your true weapon. You think for a moment, what weapon could the Guardian possibly be referring to? What weapon could help you survive in a place like this? And then the answer hits you, plain as day. You point to your temple, and Nash nods. Very well. Add this card to the victory display. Okay. Next, we need to deal with Come on Thaw. So right now we're 3 to 4. And if I fail it, he'll hit me for 1. So if it's one of these, I'm just seeing what my options are. Right now, there's a pretty good chance I will fail this check. So you know what? I will go ahead and spend the 1 resource to get out the Sparrow Mask. And then I'm going to use an offering to give myself +2 will. So it's going to be 5 to 4. 5 to 4. All right, we passed. So if I hadn't have done this, I could have just used a lucky and then left the area. But we did pass. Resolve the other side. If you parlayed with common thought, read the following. Your mind is strong, the Guardian admits, but are you ready to shed your concept of truth, of reality? If so, alter your clothing. You protest out of confusion. This is a land of wills, the priest continues. If your resolve is truly strong enough, prove it to me. You close your eyes and imagine a different outfit, straining to recall its texture, its color, its smell. Each and every thread of fabric, when you open your eyes, you are wearing it. Good, common thought says, stepping aside. All right, and with that, we can now immediately advance. All right, beware the road ahead. Satisfied that you are worthy to enter the Dreamlands, the priests step aside to let you pass. A gate beyond opens. Before you step through, one of them grabs you by the wrist and gives you a final warning. Your journey will take you beyond the lands of the gods. The eye of chaos is upon you now. Follow the path, and you shall be safe. But beware, he tightens his grip. Stray not from the path. Each investigator loses all their clues, which we didn't have any. Put the set-aside 700 steps, base of the steps, and the enchanted path locations into play. Okay. Your slumber goes deeper. Add 1 skull to the chaos bag for the remainder of the campaign. So we're going to make note on this. Then we have 2 skull. And add a skull. Alright, and then the final descent. Spiraling stairs descend below for what seems like an infinity. Do not draw cards, and again, if each investigator is at the enchanted path, immediately advance. So each investigator has to be at that location now. Originally it was just an investigator, now we have to have all of them. Okay, so with all that, that is all my actions. So we'll go ahead and dive into upkeep, because there's no enemies. Alright. Go to Mythos, which will add 2 Doom, because we have people on steps locations. And then at the end of the Mythos phase, we'll take 1 damage on Rita here, because she is in the Cavern of Flame. Alright. So, over here we got... So asking a farewell blessing of the priest and thinking shrewdly on his course, he boldly descended the 700 steps to the gate of deep slumber. Also, I didn't really mention, I didn't have any cards in excess of 5 when Rita moved, so she's good to go on that. Alright, up here we have the base of the steps. You cannot enter the base of the steps unless all clues on the 700 steps have been discovered. Eventually the steps give way to loamy soil, coiling up the bottom few steps in a bed of glowing fungi whose shapes defy natural convention. And then down here is you cannot enter the enchanted path unless you have all the clues in the base of the steps taken care of. From the base of the steps, a peaceful dirt path winds through the dense forest. Many dozens of eyes watch you with curiosity from the tangled woods surrounding the path. Okay. So, I currently have too many cards in my hand. So, first action, I'm going to go ahead and play Dream Diary. And then I'm going to move. Alright, so 2 Shroud, 2 clues, and if you leave this location, you take 1 horror for each card in excess of 3 this time. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just spend an action getting the Essence of Dream in my hand, so I can get that going. Actually, we can do that later. Instead we'll investigate now. So we're currently 5-2. And I'm not going to commit anything, so 5-2. Good to go. We got a clue. Alright, Rita. I'm going to go ahead and have you gain a resource, and then spend 3 resources to play Track Shoes. So now you have 7 agility. And then last action, I'm going to move. And then after you move, I can go ahead and exhaust this to do a 3 agility test to move another step. And I do. And that is everybody. Alright. No enemies again. Upkeep. Okay, calling in favor, so I will take that. And a long shot. Okay. Mythos, we're up to 4 out of 19. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take an action to get the Essence of Dream into my hand. Actually, yeah, go ahead and do that. Essence of Dream in hand. Then I'm going to go ahead and investigate using Essence of Dream. Actually, no, I won't do that yet. I would like to get something other than Research Librarian out. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just spend the resource and do Calling in Favors again. And return Research Librarian to my hand, search top 12. Alright. And again, another whiff. Oh no, it's not a whiff. I got a medical student. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this Astounding Revelation. Well, actually, I can grab this Occult Evidence. And put it in my hand. And I'll get the clue from here in the process. But do I need to? I don't think I need to right now. So let's not do the Occult Evidence. Let's do the Astounding Revelation to get some resources. And then for the card I'm actually going to play, it's going to be this Medical Student. Its cost is reduced by 2 because of Research Librarian, so I can play it for free. And then immediately heal up. So I get 2 resources because of Astounding Revelation, and then Medical Student's going to give me heal me for 1 and 1. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and investigate with my last action. And play, when I commit a Essence of Dream, so that puts us at 7-2. Go 8-2. So I need to beat this by 3 or more. So with this, it should be good. I have 8. 8-2, and the worst I can get is a -3 right now. Okay, yeah, go ahead and do that. Good. So I get the clue here. This goes away. And I can go ahead and note that I have interpreted dreams. We'll just put it under her. Dreams be interpreted. All right, done. Good to go on that front. All right, for Rita, I'm going to spend an action and get out her cherished keepsake. Mr. Potterson always told Wendy things would turn out okay, but then again, Mr. Potterson was a teddy bear, and he didn't know any better. Indeed. Okay. Next, I'm going to go ahead and discard. Well, first, I'm going to, as a lightning bolt, I'm going to discard Belly of the Beast. Also, I did forget, when I took a damage, I should have gained a offering from the mask, because anytime I take damage. So we'll just put that there. Okay. So yeah, lightning bolt action, I'm going to discard Belly of the Beast, and then I'm going to move. To say, move up here, so I don't take any damage, or actually I could. Actually, I can take the horror. Yeah, keep it in my hand. Why not? So I'll take a horror, which I'll put on Pete Sylvester, and then move into this location. After you enter the base of the steps, if you have at least 1 card in your hand, test Will X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. If you fail for each card in your hand, you must either take 1 horror or discard that card. And so X is the number of cards in your hand after committing cards to the test. Okie dokie. I'll commit this Belly of the Beast, so that's going to make it so I'm 4-3. I pass. All right, and then this location is 3 Shroud and has 2 clues on it. I'm going to go ahead and investigate this location. I'm currently 2 to 3. I actually passed with the +2, so I get 1 clue here. Fantastic. Alright, enemy phase upkeep. I'm going to go ahead and just shuffle this again just out of paranoia. Shortcut. Trenchcoat. Getting all the evades out. Alright, so we're going to get 2 Doom, and then we progress to investigation phase. Give me a moment. Alright, let's continue. Okay, I was not expecting Rita to actually be able to handle this on her own, so let's keep this going. So leaving this location's fine. It's the only issue is stepping down from this location, because that's just going to murder her. Got it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and investigate. Again, 2 to 3. Alright, so that one is -2, I believe. Yep, -2. It's not an attack or evasion attempt against a swarming enemy, so no special effects. I'm going to go ahead and play Live and Learn for 0. Play after you fail a skill test, after resolving its negative effects, which there were none. Attempt that test again, get +2 skill value for that test. So now we're 4 to 3. And we passed, just barely. Alright, I'm then going to move. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the track shoes to move again. I do pass. That was -2, that would have been 5 to 3. So I keep moving. And to the Enchanted Path. The Enchanted Path is connected to each Enchanted Woods location. Enchanted Path gets +1 Shroud for each unrevealed Enchanted Woods location in play. As a triple action, you do as you were told, but you feel as though you are missing something. Place 1 clue on the Enchanted Path from the token pool. Right now it has 2 Shroud and 0 clues because there's no other woods locations. Also, this location is not in the steps. Or is not a steps location. Alright, so that left me with 1 action remaining. I'm going to gain a resource, and that'll be it. I'm hoping to get that trench coat out, so then I can have 8 evasion when I'm evading. Alright, Mandy. I know your hands are a bit full right now. So how do we want to handle this? So I can soak some horror easily enough. So if I were to go right now, I would take 3 horror. If I used a shortcut, I would take only 2 horror. So let's do, well, I don't really need the research librarian right now, so I'm okay with discarding him. And then I could just do a shortcut and then move with that. So I'll take 1 horror, which I will just, I'll put on the medical student, let her die. Also, and I think we've read about, yeah, we've done medical student before, I think, but can I get course credit for this? Alright, with that, if each investigator is at the Enchanted Path, immediately advance. Into enchantment. When you reach the base of the stairway, you find yourself in an otherworldly oak forest. The forest floor is thick with countless years of fallen leaves, and you're surrounded by glowing fungi of all shapes and sorts. The soil is pierced with gnarled roots, and the trees are strangled by invasive vines. A winding dirt path leads deeper into the woods. Each investigator loses all their clues. Done. Your slumber grows deeper at another skull. So now we're at 3 skull. We're a 3 skull team. Alright. And then remove each steps location from the game. So all of these. Randomly choose 6 of the set-aside Enchanted Woods locations and put them into play, and remove the other copy from the game. Alright, so for simplicity, we're going to put you guys in the middle. and 6. There we go. Alright, shuffle all remaining set-aside scenario cards except for Laboring Gug and Randolph Carter, Expert Dreamer, to form the encounter deck. From now on, investigators draw cards from the encounter deck during each Mythos phase as normal. Counter deck. And yeah, everything else is good. Oh, sorry, that's the discard. This is the encounter deck. Okay, and then down here, all you have to do is stay on the path. After the first time any investigator enters the Enchanted Woods, record in the campaign log the Dreamer strayed from the path. Only investigators at the Enchanted Path may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. We require 10 to advance. Alright, so we're here now. It is still Mandy's action. So I'm going to go ahead and spend an action, spend 4 resources to get out Witten Green. I do have a tome, so I do get +1 intelligence. And then I'm going to go ahead and move. So, my track record is about 75% of the time the first location I pick is the one that spawns a Gug. Enchanted Woods, drawn deeper into the lush forest, you stray from the path. You can stay on the path. Supposedly it's nearly impossible, but people have done it where they just stay on the path and get all the clues they need on it. Needless to say, it's quite the challenge and honestly not very interesting. It also tends to not be a very good reward, as in there isn't one. So, Mandy's going to go ahead and head down here. After a Zoog enemy with the swarming keyword spawns at this location, add 1 additional swarm card to it. You remembered one particular village of the creatures near the center of the woods. Village Zoog. So this is why you want to stray from the path, because it's victory points and stuff. Strayed from path. Like a boss. Alright. Alright, so this one's not bad. 3 Shroud. So I will go ahead and investigate this location. Oh, actually, first I'm going to trigger Witten Green's ability. After you reveal a location or put a new location into play, exhaust Witten Green, search the top 6 of your deck for a tome or relic asset and draw it, search, and then shuffle your deck. I'm going to go ahead and do top 9. Alright, let's see. So for research, I'm going to grab the Surprising Find and put it into play. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this... I'm going to put the Disc of Itzama into my hand. Everything else is kind of okay. Okay. And then with that, I'm going to go ahead and investigate this location. I am 6-3. Highest minus is only 2. Just note that cultists are now -1 because of each Enchanted Woods location that's revealed. So far we've revealed 1. So eventually this does become ridiculous. Alright, so investigate. We pass, get a clue. Okay, that is everybody. No enemies currently. We'll go straight to upkeep. Oh, also I forgot at the end of Rita Young's turn, Pete Sylvester should have healed 1 horror. I tend to forget that. Alright, upkeep. Stir a pot. And another Pete Sylvester. Okie dokie. Mythos. We have shuffled that already, so let's draw our first Mythos cards. Put Prismatic Phenomena into play in your threat area. The first time you perform one of the following actions, draw a resource or play each round, it costs 1 additional action. After you successfully investigate a location, instead of discovering clues, discard it. Yeah, this thing sucks. It just eats up all your actions. And then over here, our first hidden card. Law of Yiggoroth, Discord. Peril hidden. Secretly add this card to your hand. You cannot commit cards to skill tests with an odd number of skill icons on them. As an action, discard a player card with an even number of skill icons from your hand to discard this card from your hand. So yeah, I have nothing but... Oh, technically, I have Longshot. That is even. So discard a player card, and then, yeah. So technically, I can discard this to get rid of it, or I can actually still commit this as normal. So there's that, I guess. Okay, let's go ahead and just start with Mandy. Unfortunately, Mandy's going to be a little busy here. I'm going to go ahead and investigate 6-2. Actually, it's going to be 7 because I have to commit this. 7 to 3. Oh, I also has to take an additional action. So right now it's -3, so I definitely pass 4 to 3. So I do pass, but I don't get the clue. Instead, this gets discarded. I do get to draw a card, though, from the surprising find, and I get Mr. Rook. All right, then I'll go ahead and investigate again to get this thing out of the way. 6 to 3. Okay. Elder Sign, +0. Search the top 3 cards of your deck for a card and either draw it or commit it to a test if able, and then shuffle your deck. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and search top 3, but I'm going to pick 2 instead of just 1. Using her ability, it's top 3. Okay, I'm going to put both of these in my hand. And then, thank God, this is going to get shuffled. All right. And that is it on that end. And unfortunately, I can't do anything else because she's used up all of her actions. Oh, I do get the clue here, by the way. Okay. All right, that ate up all of our actions. Next, let's do I want to get rid of this thing? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and discard Long Shot and get rid of this. And then for my next action, I'm going to go ahead and play a... actually, I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. And then I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 resources to get out this trench coat. Roland loosened his tie, tilted his hat, and turned up his coat collar, and when he was sure he looked respectably disreputable, he approached the door. Funny quote, because Roland's stats don't really support evading that much. So this is +1 agility win only for evasion attempts, so she has 8s during evasions and 7s otherwise. Alright, no enemies, go to upkeep. I'm going to have to discard a card on Mandy. I'm going to discard... These are all kind of nice. Let's discard the occult evidence. Alright. And then over here, upkeep. Overzealous. Alright, so we get an encounter card. I was hoping to get this sooner. Alright, Obscuring Fog, attach to your location. And then it surges. Engage with the lowest, engaged with the investigator at your location with the lowest agility. Okay. Stealthy Zoog. 1 fight, 3 evasion, 1 health. And then alert and swarming 1. So what this means is I have to take the top card of this and put it there. 1 sees their weird eyes long before 1 can discern their small, slippery brown outlines. Also, I do want to check. I believe when you defeat a swarm card, yeah, it gets placed on the bottom of the owner's deck. So it doesn't get discarded, thankfully. Alright. Yeah. Engage with the investigator at your location. Okay, so it has to be at my location, which is the good news. I also would have engaged with Mandy. Okay. And then this obscuring fog is never going away. Ever. Alright. Let's go ahead and... I'm going to go ahead and fast out this segment of Onyx. I'm then going to go ahead and move. And then I'm going to move again. While you're investigating this location, it gets +1 shroud for each card in your hand. At that spot, a mighty slab of stone rests on the forest floor, and those who have dared approach it say that it bears an iron ring 3 feet wide. Stone trapdoor. Alright. So each card in my hand. Okie dokie. I am going to go ahead and trigger Wit and Green. Search top 9. It's usually 6, but I'm picking 9 with my ability. Top 9. Alright, I'll go ahead and use this occult evidence. I'll reveal it and put it in my hand to grab this clue. And then I'm also going to go ahead and grab this segment of Onyx, which is a relic, and put it in my hand. I'm then going to fast out that segment of Onyx. I'm going to shuffle this before I forget. And then for my final action, I'm going to investigate. So right now, I have 8 cards in my hand. So this thing is 10. I'm 6 to 10 right now. I am going to go ahead and play a Burning Midnight Oil as part of the action. So I'm going to get 2 resources. And that resolves that. You'll sleep when you're dead. All right, so now it is 6 to 9 right now. We'll go 7. We 7 to 8 now. So we're 7 to 8. Uh, 8 to 6. No, 8 to 7. We're currently 8 to 7. And we'll do this as well. All right, so we're 9 versus 7 right now. So 9 to 7. Half the cards on my hand minus rounded up, so that's -2. So I do pass just barely. And when you do commit cards, it does count it as it not being in your hand. So FYI. So that's how you're able to do this. Okay, so I do just enough, I think. So that was 9, and this was 7, and this is -2. So yep, 7 to 7. We pass. Okay. Bye-bye you. Bye-bye you. And I think that is all my occults, by the way. Yep, all my occult evidences have been used. That's good. All right, cool. That is it for Mandy. Let's go deal with Rita next. So this guy only has 1 fight. So I guess I can just punch you to death. All right, we'll go 3 to 1. Okay, and then this gets put underneath. There we go. And then I'll punch it again. 3 to 1. Dealt with. Okay. And then for my last action, I'm probably just going to wait. So I'm just going to go ahead and gain a resource. All right. Enemy phase, no enemies, goes to upkeep. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, got ourselves a weapon. All right, Mythos. Oh, I did forget to add a Doom earlier with the first Mythos. So just making sure that's right. Yeah, so I should be at 8 right now. Okay. Yeah, I did forget. Okay, so also something to note, some of these enchanted woods are connected to one another. So the more you know. All right. Boop. Engage with the investigator with the lowest fight in your location. Furtive Zoog, 3 fight, 1 agility, 1 evade, 1 health. Creature Zoog has retaliate swarming 1. Although they live mostly on fungi, it is muttered that they also have a slight taste for meat, and they hit for 1. The previous guys hit for 1 horror. All right. So top card goes here, and now we're engaged with you. Okay, and then for you. Most cards praise most cards in hand. Hunter, massive. Increase the difficulty for you to attack or attempt to evade the crawling mist by 1 for each card in your hand with an encounter card back. Good to know. All right. So that's a problem. So this thing is massive, so it's just going to be up here. Monster Avatar, 3 fight, 3 evade, 5 health, victory 1. Hits for 1 and 1. Now, the good news is we don't have any encounter cards in our hand. That would be the hidden cards, by the way. All right, so slight issue right now is... Oh, actually, we can evade. We can evade. All right, so we'll start with Mandy. I'm going to fast out this segment of Onyx and get the Pendant and the Queen. Alright, then I'm going to evade this furtive Zoog. So 3 to 1. Alright, that is -2, so I do pass. Yeah, and when you evade, it does affect all of them, I believe. Yeah, let's see. Once the host enemy and all of its swarm cards of attack, exhaust all of them. Give me a moment. Okay, sorry, I missed that little keyword. Yeah, for example, if the hosted enemy or any of its swarm cards are evaded, all of them exhaust and become disengaged. So it exhausts all of them. I'm just going to exhaust the furtive Zoog. Also, you are allowed to look at the cards just to make sure that the cards return to the owner, because obviously, if somebody else kills this, then it still goes to back to Mandy's deck. All right. So with all that said and done, let's go ahead and move a couple of times. 1, 2. After you enter this location, you must either take 2 horror or lose all your remaining actions. So I cannot pick the second option because I have no remaining actions. So I will have to take 2 horror. I'll take 1 horror on Wet and Green and take 1 horror myself. The Moon Tree. The Council of Sages, recognizing the visitor, offered a gourd of fermented sap from a haunted tree unlike the others. Victory 2, 3 Shroud, 2 Clues. I am going to go ahead and activate Wet and Green and search the top 12. Actually, yeah, I'll search top 12. Searching top 12. Or sorry, not top 12, it's top 9. My mistake. Search top 9. Yeah, it's 6 and then +3. Anyway. No relics or tomes, but I do have a research card. So I'll put this surprising find into play. And then shuffle the deck. Alright, and then I will go ahead and use a charge from the pendant to get 1 clue from this location. Because the non-taboo version of the pendant, once you get everything, once you use all the charges on it, it will you shuffle the segment of onyxes back into your deck, which our deck is gradually shrinking, so it becomes a lot easier to get those segments back. All right. Also, this location is connected to the stone trapdoor. Who would have thought? All right. So yeah, you might notice I've been doing exploring with Mandy, and that's just to trigger Wet and Green as often as possible. Okay. So Rita, we need to deal with this crawling mist now. So I'm gonna go ahead and evade you. So 8 to 3. We succeed. I am going to use her ability to do 1 damage to it. Like so. I'm then going to go ahead and spend 2 to get out the baseball bat. And then I'm going to smack it with said baseball bat. So that puts us at 5 to 3. And I am going to commit a long shot to it. So 5 to 3. +1, that is 6 to 3, so I definitely hit. Baseball bat does +1 damage, and then long shot's going to do additional damage. So we do 3 damage in total, putting it at 4 out of 5. All right. That is it. Enemy phase. All the enemies are exhausted. Upkeep. Okay. 1 second. Sorry, I got in the habit where I constantly just put breaks in the video just to make sure I shuffled with Mandy. I definitely did. I need to really do that tapping thing, because that definitely will make it so I don't have to double check myself over and over again. I knew HUDs would come. Alright, we're going to deal with him. Alright, so yeah, you damn cowards always cover your faces. You're like the damn clan, always too scared to let people see who you are. Alright, these guys will unexhaust. Luckily these guys aren't hunters, so I don't have to worry about them. Mythos, we're up to 9 out of 19. And we have 3 woods locations revealed now, so cultists are now -3. Alright. Dreamer's Curse, test 5. For each point you fail by, take 1 damage to a maximum of 3. For the purposes of counting icons committed to this skill test, intelligence, strength, and agility icons count as matching icons, and then willpower and wild icons count as 2 matching icons. Okay, so currently we are 3 to 5. Surprising Find has to be committed, so now we're 5 to 5. I'm going to commit this Disc of Idzama, so that brings us up to 7 to 5. And I'm good enough with that. So 7 to 5. We do pass. I do draw a card because of Surprising Find. Perfect. All right, and then for you, Crypt Chill, test will 4. I'm going to use an offering. So that puts us at 5 to 4. And we pass. All right. So, Mandy, let's get some work done. So this place has 3 Shroud. I have 6 Intelligence. I'm going to go ahead and investigate this location. I'm going to commit a Quick Thinking, and I am also going to go ahead and play this Practice Makes Perfect, and I'm going to go ahead and search the top 12 for a practice card. All right. Good news is we did hit a practice card, and then I do want to use this Astounding Revelation to get some resources. So 2 resources from that. Shuffle. And then if I pass this check, I will get this card in my hand. So currently we are 9 to 3. Is that -2? Yeah. So 9 to 3, 7 to 3, so we beat it by 4. So Quick Thinking will trigger, so I get an extra action that I can take immediately. And then Perception is going to make us draw a card. And then this goes in my hand. I also get the clue here. All right. Next, we're going to move. Oh, actually, I should have did this in a different order. That is my bad. I will just take the attack opportunity. So I'm going to get attacked by Crawling Mist for 1 and 1. We'll put the damage on Wooden. So I moved. I'm going to move again. Say hi to this location. All right. Mystical Forest, 4 Shroud, 2 clues. Threading now the low phosphorant aisles between those gigantic trunks. Carter made fluttering sounds in the manner of the Zoogs, and listen now and then for responses. Has an additional cost for you to leave this location. You must choose and discard 1 card from your hand for each clue on this location. So, don't leave when there's clues on this. All right. I will use Witten Green's ability. It's just going to be top 6. All right. Nothing. Yeah, no research cards and no relics or tomes. All right. So now I'm at this location. I'm going to go ahead and investigate. I'm 6 to 4 right now. I'm going to go ahead and commit both Perception and Deduction. So the reason why I'm doing both is because there are -4s now. So yeah. So we're now 9 to 4. And we do pass. We get both clues here thanks to Deduction. And we also draw a card. All right. That is it for that. We have 2 locations left. As you probably noticed, they are worth tons of victory. So getting as many of these as possible is definitely the game plan. We technically only need to clear out like 5 of these locations. Anyway. So I did take an extra hit there, but that's okay. Looks like we're still tanking pretty good. We have Mr. Rook on deck, so we're good to go once we run out of charges there. Okay, so we have some things we need to do. I'm going to evade the Crawling Mist, because it is technically engaged with everyone. So 8 to whatever. We pass. I'm going to use my ability to finish it off. And it goes in the victory display, where it belongs. Okay, so that leaves hoods to deal with. So I'm going to go ahead and swing at it with my baseball bat. So I am currently 5 to 3. So 5 to 3. Alright, that is going to break the bat, unfortunately. And, yeah, not much I can do about that. I'll go ahead and punch 3 to 3. I do hit for 1. Okay. Enemy phase. These guys hang out. They don't have anything. Yep. So hoods are going to hit me for 1 and 1. So I'll take 1 damage on the coat and a horror on Peter. All right. And then we go ahead and do upkeep. Hey, magnifying glass. Oh, resourceful. Cool, I can get my bat back. All right. All right. Upkeep Mythos. We're now 10 of 19. So far, our pace has been amazing. Zoog Burrow. Test 3 agility. For each point you fail by, add 1 swarm card to the nearest swarming Zoog enemy. If you fail and there are no such enemies in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Zoog enemy and draw it, and shuffle the encounter deck. Alright, I'm 3 to 3. Alright, 3 to 3. Alright, we put 3 swarming cards on this thing. There you go. That is the most furtive of Zoogs. And then for you. The inconspicuous Zoog. This guy's an asshole. Alright, 2 fight, 2 evade, 1 health. Spawns in any connecting location. We'll put him over here. Hunter, swarming 2, so 2 of our cards go here. When inconspicuous Zoog is defeated, cancel all excess damage and move any of its remaining swarm and host cards to a connecting location exhausted. Most of them live in barrows, but some inhabit the trunks of the great trees, and they hit for both 1 damage and 1 horror. So yeah, these guys are very, very annoying and very hard to kill. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep things going on this front. I'm going to go ahead and move with Mandy. And then move again. This time I won't take an attack opportunity. Ah, here it is. Laboring Gug. Okay. I knew he would come someday. Alright. So, Enchanted Woods, Great Stone Circle. After this location is revealed, spawn the set-aside Laboring Gug at this location. Finally, the greater light of those flickering fungi revealed a sinister green and gray vastness pushing up through the roof of the forest and out of sight. Victory 1. Has 2 clues, 1 shroud. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 to investigate using breaking and entering. Actually, before I do that, I will pull out my magnifying glass. All right. So I get to add my agility to this. So I'm sitting at 10 to 1. We do pass. We pass by a lot, so not only do I get the clue here, I also evade it. I am going to go ahead and spend a charge from the queen, Pin to the Queen, to go ahead and get this remaining clue. That way I'm ready to get out of here as soon as possible. I do want to kill this thing. It has... Oh yeah, I didn't really talk about it. 5 fight, 2 evade, 5 health. Hunter can't go off the path, essentially. Or can't go onto the path. And hits for 3 health and 1 horror. Yeah, pretty rough. Anyway, Rita, I'm going to go ahead and attack. Hood's here. Also, I should have gained an offering, because I did take damage. Yeah. I'll go ahead and... I'm going to go ahead and commit a resourceful, so we're going to be 4 to 3. It's going to be -1, because I only have 2 cards in my hand, so it does a damage. And I could go ahead and search my discard for a card. I'm going to go ahead and just grab this live and learn. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and punch again, this time 3 to 3. I fail. I'm going to go ahead and do this live and learn to get +2, so I'm now 5 to 3. And I pass. Bye-bye hoods. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and have her move up to say hi to this lumbering gug. All right. So we got that going for us. Okay, enemy phase. This guy's going to go up here. Upkeep this guy, I'll have engage her. So at this point we could end it, but we're not going to because I do want that last victory. Cheap shot, perfect. Okay, and then Mythos, we're now 11 out of 19. Let's hope it stays that way. Furtive Zug, engaged with the lowest. Okay, so it's going to be engaged with you with 1 swarm. Okay, and then for you. Okay, I'm right now 3 to 3. I'll commit Pete Sylvester to make it 5 to 5. That's going to be -5, so it fails. So for each point you fail by, take 1 damage, maximum 3. So I will take a whole lot of damage. I'll put it all on Rita. Oh, I should have used the Sparrow Mask. It still would have resulted in the same result, and then I would have get it back. It still would have done 3 damage. But that's okay. We take 3 damage. I'll put it all on Rita. And this gets discarded. Okay. Whew. Next. Yep. All right. Well then. So we have 1 more location left. All right. We'll start with Rita. Rita is going to spend... Yeah, I'll go ahead and spend 2 resources to fight with Cheap Shot. So I get to add my agility to this, so it's going to be 10 to 5. I do pass. I pass by 2 or more, so not only do I do 1 damage, I also auto-evade it. And I will go ahead and do a damage to it with my ability. So it's going to take 2 damage in total. I'm then going to go ahead and move down and engage these guys. And then I'm going to evade them. 8 to 2. Okay, good to go. So I'm just going to put them here because they're just going to re-engage. All right. And then over here with the Furtive Zug, I'm going to go ahead and spend an action to evade. So this will be 3 to 1. Actually, I'm going to use this Pinto of the Queen to auto-evade it. And these get reshuffled back in. And then I'm going to spend 2 actions moving. Reveal this last location. After you reveal this location, if you do not leave this location before the end of the round, place 1 Doom on the current agenda. Okay. Well, that's a bit costly, but not the end of the world. Okay. And the tunnels of that twisted wood, whose low prodigious oaks twine accompanying bows. However that said. Lost Woods, 2 victory, 4 shroud, 2 clues. Got it. All right. I'll go ahead and use Wit and Green's ability. I'm going to search top. Yeah, I'll search. Actually, I'm just going to go. You know what? Yeah, I'll do top 9. Okay, good thing I did. All right, Segment of Onyx, that's what I'm putting in my hand, and then the research card is going to be Surprising Find. Done. All right, fast out this Segment of Onyx. And then last action, I'm going to investigate this location. This will be auto-committed. So we're 7-4 right now, or sorry, 8-4 with Magnifying Glass. So 8-4, good luck. We pass, get the clue. Draw a card, and that gets discarded. Okay. That is everybody. Enemy phase. All the enemies are exhausted or not a hunter. Upkeep. These guys on exhaust. You on exhaust. Research Librarian. Belly of the Beast. Okay. Mythos. We're going to get 2 of these. Put Deeper Slumber in your threat area. Your maximum hand size is reduced by 3 and is checked after each time you draw 1 or more cards. And then you get double action to discard it. Okay. And then for you, put Dreamlands Eclipse into play next to the agenda deck. When you initiate an investigation, you must either take 1 horror or your location gets +2 Shroud. At the end of the round, discard Dreamland Eclipse. I'm just going to put it there to note. Actually, I'll just put it here to note because that's where it's going to matter. All right, investigation. So let's get to work with Mandy here. I am going to go ahead and investigate this location. I will take the 1 horror. And so this is going to be, right now I'm 7-4. I'll go 8-4. And we'll see how that goes. 8-4. -3, so I do pass. So I get the clue here. Oop. Like so. I'm then going to go ahead and move down here for an action. And then I'm going to spend 2 to do no stone to unturned. I'm going to go ahead and use her ability to grab 2 cards instead of just 1. So we'll search the top 6. I'll grab this Segment of Onyx. I'm also going to grab this Burning of the Midnight Oil. All right, so I have to discard my hands. It's based off my hand size as I draw cards, and I have to check it every time. So I will discard this Research Librarian. All right, and then I'll fast out this Segment of Onyx, and that'll be it for her. No one else is going to be doing investigation, so I'm going to go ahead and discard this. All right. Rita. I'm going to go ahead and evade you. 7-2. As a pass. You are now evaded. Also, I'm pretty sure this should have healed a while ago. Alright. So does this guy have Retaliate or anything? No, he's just a big gug. Alright. Should I just take the damage? That is the question. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and move, which is going to get me engaged with these guys. Actually, I'm going to draw a card. I have a solution. I'm going to keep drawing cards. Okay. It's better to just prep up rather than risk all that. Okay. So yeah, we're running out of time. Enemy turns. We'll go ahead and get re-engaged here. I'm going to have this get engaged with Rita here. Or not Rita, but with Mandy. And then we'll do some upkeep. Okay. Doom, we're up to 14 out of 19. Crypt Chill, currently 3 to 4. I pass with a +1. Okay. Alright, and then I have this Deeper Slumber, which I'm okay with. Okay. Alright. I'm going to fast out I'm done running. So for the rest of this round, oh, actually, I'll already engage all enemies in my location. Okay, don't do that yet. I'm going to move first, because I don't want to engage the thing that's here. These guys aren't going to engage me regardless. And then I'm going to go ahead and do I'm done running. Put that out for now. And then I'm going to spend 2 to cheap shot the Labor and Gug. So I'm now 10 to 5. That is -2. I pass. So I pass by 3. So I do 1 damage. Which, what happened to the damage on this thing? It had 2 damage on it. Yeah, it had 2 damage on it. Anyway, so it's going to take a damage from the hit. I'm going to auto evade it, which instead of exhausting and disengaging it will do 1 damage. And then all other effects of a successful evasion still apply, so I'm going to use Rita's ability to do 1 damage to it and kill it. Okay. And then I'm going to evade the Furtive Zoog. Now, just a few things I want to check here. Become disengaged. Alright. Actually, what's the requirement for this? Only investigators at the Enchanted Path may spend requisite... oh, okay. Then we're good to go. We have all our victory. So I'll just go ahead and... I'll punch this guy. 3 to 3. Good luck. I'll go ahead and spend 1 to do lucky, and I'll just kill a card. I don't even know which one it belongs to. It belongs to you. I think that worked. Yeah, that worked. Okay. Alright. Your turn is done. And then for Mandy, we'll go ahead and just spend the 10 clues. New visitors. As you near the edge of the woods, more rodent-like creatures emerge, swarming out of burrows and honeycomb trees. Soon the whole forest is alive with them. They surround you and chitter in a language you somehow understand. Intruders, they are with the cats. New dreamers. No, they followed the black cat, but the black cat is not here. We are many, but they are few. Several of them emit low growls as they begin closing in. Just then, you hear a human voice call out, "What is the meaning of all this?" The owner of the voice is a blond young man with an unfazed expression. He is flanked by a pack of angry cats, each of whom falls into step beside him. Save for one scarred old cat who takes the lead. You realize that the man speaks not to you, but to the creatures all around you, who slink backward as they are scolded. Then, to your ever-growing surprise, the scarred cat speaks. Your tribute is late. So our choices are, we can either step back and watch this surreal scene play out, or interrupt the scarred cat and handle this yourself. I'm going to pick resolution 1. Let the cat handle it. Alright. Hopefully I didn't make too many mistakes. That was a lot of fun. Mandy's an incredibly powerful investigator, as I probably have mentioned. And she is from this campaign expansion, so good times had by all. Alright. So, resolution 1. The creatures chitter among themselves, and after a moment, a dozen of them retreat in the direction of the great tree beyond the beaten path. They return shortly afterward, carrying a variety of grouse, quail, and pheasants in their mouths. You're almost certain now that they are that you are now going crazy. And yet the spectacle continues. The creatures timidly drop their tribute of birds in front of the cats and quietly depart. My apologies on behalf of the Zooks, the man says as he approaches. They are curious creatures and not usually so agitated. It is good that we showed up when we did. The leader of the cats jumps on a tree stump and adds, Yes, them vile Zooks have done their part. Now let's do ours and leave this forsaken place. What say ye? You cannot contain your excitement. Zoogs, talking cats, everything you have read about is real. You begin to ask the man more about this world, but he cuts you off. I will explain in due time. For now, we must follow the path to the town of Ulthar. It is a safe place, relatively speaking. There you may recover from your travels. He turns to the old scarred cat and utters a word in an odd language, a password of sorts. You suspect, and the cats reply with a quick nod. The rest of the cats, tribute in mouth, take a protective circular formation around you, and together you escape from the eaves of the enchanted forest. Record that the cats collected tribute from the Zoogs. Alright, any one investigator may choose to add Randolph Carter, Expert Dreamer, to their deck. This card does not count toward the investigator's deck size. So Randolph Carter here has +1 fight, +1 invasion. Ally Dreamer, he does take up an ally slot, costs 3 to play. It's a fist, foot, and wild icon for the commits. And then after a tablet is revealed during a skills test, you can exhaust him to draw 2 cards. He has 3 health and 2 horror soak. Honestly, pretty handy for Rita Young here. Alright, next. If you are playing the Dream Quest as a 4-part each investigator earns experience equal to the victory X value of each card in the victory display. And then if you're playing Dream Quest as a 4-part campaign, you can continue to interlude. Otherwise, you go to the Web of Dreams, which is the 1B scenario, which will be Waking Nightmare. All right, so as far as experience is concerned, the locations is 11, and then we have 2 victory from monsters, so 13 experience in total. Since it's 2 sets of 4, obviously, of scenarios, the experience definitely gets a lot more front-loaded. All right, with that, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure all the cards are in the right places before I do anything else. Oh, cool. They actually got my weakness. Good for them. That is impressive. Okay. This Deeper Slumber could have been a lot worse, but thankfully we were already pretty much done by the time we started drawing them. The biggest concern that I ran into, the biggest headache was usually the hidden cards in this campaign, because they're just a lot more difficult to deal with and can really mess with your head. And also, I tend to forget that I have them in my hand when I'm dealing with Crawling Mist. All right. So with all that, let's see. Any other hidden cards? Nope. Okay, cool. Give me 1 moment and I'll spin XP. All right, 13 experience. I'm going to upgrade one of my Stone Turns to its level 5 version. So instead of just providing just a wild, it now provides a wild and a book if you commit it. But it's now also fast and can be played in any lightning bolt window. And instead of searching just 6 cards, it searches the entire deck. So another way for me to trigger my weakness early. I went ahead and upgraded both Wit and Greens to the level 2 versions. So they get an additional will icon for their commits. But more importantly, they now provide +1 will and +1 intelligence if they have if their tome or relic is in play. Also when you reveal a location with her, you can search the top 9 of your deck for a tome and relic asset and draw it. So instead of just top 6, also it has a additional horror soak now. Dream Diary, I went ahead and upgraded to the Dreams of the Madman, which is +2 wilds whenever you're engaged with an enemy. It also can be committed for a fist if you really need to. And then I also, so far that was 5, 7, 9, 12, and my last experience is to buy 3 aces, which is Myriad, so you can get all 3 for 1. It's a fortune practice skill, commits for 1 wild, and if you commit 3 copies of 3 aces to a skill test, the test automatically succeeds without needing to reveal a token. And when you do that, you also draw 3 cards and gain 3 resources. I'm replacing one of my starter pots, one of my medical students, and one of my breaking enterings with 3 aces. Come to think of it, yeah, I'm okay with that. One way or the other, I would have had to replace at least one of my rogue cards because otherwise I would have more than 10 in the deck. So I believe now I have 9 in the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 6, 7, 8. Wait, am I missing something? So 1, 2. Oh, I didn't know it actually did that. That's actually kind of handy. Let's see. Breaking and entering. Oh, it didn't stink. 6. So that's 6, and then I gain... Yep, so I should be at 9. Yep, I am at 9. Okay. Because these 3 aces will bring it up to 9. And then we got some Witten Greens. New Dream Diary, that'll be a bit more useful because it won't take actions to get the card from it. That puts us at 55 cards. Alright, that's 13 experience exactly. Over here with Rita, I'm going to go ahead and spend 6 on Bewitching. It's a talent trick, permanent exceptional, so it costs double XP. Do note that Rita is limited to all the way up to level 3 tricks, so this does work. It's essentially stick to the plan, but a rogue version. Anytime you're engaged by an enemy, you can exhaust this to either draw the attached card or search the top 9 for a copy of the attached card and draw it. And then before your opening hand, you can put any trick cards, face down with it. So we're going to go ahead and grab Bewitching. I'm also going to go ahead and grab Charisma, which is going to give us another additional ally slot. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to change some of these left, right, and ally. So now we have an additional ally slot. We have Pete Sylvester and then the other guy that we just got. So this is just to ensure we don't have just it sitting in our hand. Then I'm also, that was 6 for the Bewitching, 3 for Charisma, that's 9. I'm going to spend 1 on Easy Mark. It's Myriad, so you only have to pay 1 for it. And yeah, we got 3 Easy Marks. I believe we've messed with this before. I think Trish had it. So yeah, you can play it to gain 2 resources and draw a card, and if you have another one in your hand, you can play it for free. I'm replacing both Griffs with that and a Belly of the Beast. And then I'm replacing my other Belly of the Beast with a Sweeping Kick. This is a Spirit, Tactic, and Trick, so it does count as a trick. You add your agility for the fight, and of course you're already familiar with this card because I've used it with Lily Chen. I'm also going to set this over here. So yeah, I'm going to use this as one of the tricks I'll be under Bewitching for now. And then, yeah, these are gotten rid of. I'm also going to put an Easy Mark as one of my Bewitching cards as well. And then over here, I'm replacing one of my cheap shots with a Dirty Fighting. This is a Talent Trick Illicit. Limit once per investigator. While attacking, parlaying, or attempting to evade an exhausted enemy, you get +2 to the skill value. After you invade an enemy, exhaust Dirty Fighting, and you can take a fight action against that enemy and ignore aloof for that attack. So this will help boost our fight capabilities quite a bit. And yeah, with that, we have 31 cards in the deck. It was originally 33, but we gained 1, and then we put 3 aside for Bewitching. For the most part, we're probably just going to be grabbing these cards because the only one that has copies right now is the Easy Mark. I do intend on getting another Sweeping Kick in the future. What's really nice about Sweeping Kick is it can one-shot a Hoods at the cost of taking a little bit of damage for evading it. But yeah, that is what we're looking at. So with that, really that was actually pretty good. That was a pretty good showing. Obviously, with Mandy, it's not any surprise. Rita also did very, very well, even though she didn't really draw any of her weapons till the end, and I only got to swing the bat a couple of times. But even then, her evasion bought enough time to get what we needed to... It bought us enough time to get what we needed done. So that's all that really matters. Alright, so next time we will be doing Waking Nightmare with the other team, which is going to be Amanda Sharp and Stella Clark. And hopefully they do a bit better. Or actually, do just as well. Anyway, I'm Vita Prestior. This was Arkham Horror the card game, Dream Eaters, Beyond the Gate of Sleep, and I'll see you guys next time.